Charles Leclerc stunned McLaren's Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris with Ferrari's first pole of the season at the Hungarian Grand Prix. Leclerc pipped Piastri by 0.026 to upset McLaren's, who were expected to lock out the front row and dominate qualifying. Norris was only 0.041 off pole to Leclerc, but the McLaren struggled with wind direction in Q3. George Russell will start the race from fourth. Fernando Alonso enjoying his best qualifying of the year in fifth. His teammate Lance Stroll was sixth ahead of Sauber's Gabriel Bortoleto, while Max Verstappen could only rescue eighth for Red Bull. It was no all smiles for Ferrari as Lewis Hamilton's wretched qualifying form continued with a Q2 elimination, puts him 12th behind the racing balls of Lawson and Hadjar plus Hass's Oliver Behrman. Hamilton described himself as useless and said Ferrari should change driver. Red Bull's Yuki Tsunoda was knocked out in Q1 again for the fifth time this season, and Mercedes' Kimi Antonelli had a disappointing day in 15th. Piastri and Norris dominated proceedings up to the last part of qualifying, having topped all three practice sessions plus Q1 and 2. They were first and second after the Q3 runs, despite both drivers visibly soaring at the wheel through the corners, with Piastri ahead of Norris. Alonso provided the McLaren pair a warning, completing his last tyre run early and going second, and Leclerc stole pole position from Piastri. Both McLaren drivers were on lap through, but none of them improved, which gave Leclerc his first pole since Baku last year. "I don't understand anything," said Leclerc. He spoke of this as one of his weakest tracks. The whole qualifying had been extremely difficult, and yeah, it was difficult for us to get to Q2, it was difficult to get to Q3, and Q3 the conditions changed, but everything became a lot trickier, and I just knew I had to do a clean lap and target third, and I definitely didn't expect pole. Russell was only just over half a tenth from an even more shocking pole for Mercedes on a weekend where they've reverted to an old suspension. Alonso was a tenth off in fifth, highlighting the closeness. Verstappen had his worst qualifying of the year, and with Tsunoda down in 16th, the car just isn't there. Ferrari had a double shock with Leclerc on pole, but Hamilton knocked out in Q2. Hamilton had been off the pace compared to Leclerc, but Ferrari expected to be McLaren's closest challengers. Hamilton missed out by just 0.015 and said every time on the radio, "I'm useless. The team has no problem. You've seen the cars on pole, so probably they need to change driver." Hamilton's a 9-time pole sitter in Hungary and has ran a record 8 times. Earlier this week he revealed there will be some tears during summer break, which begins after this race. Thank God knows how many sessions have been hard in their own way. This only has been one of the most intense ones I always had, just from a work perspective. Integrating into a new culture and into a new team, it's not gone smoothly in all areas, and it's been a real battle. I definitely need to get away and recharge and be around the kids, laugh, let go. There'll be some tears at some point, but I'm sure that's really healthy, he said. And before I go, let me run you through the classification for qualifying. Leclerc on pole, yeah, you have to credit him, an unbelievable job for him, and who saw that coming? Piastri will be frustrated to miss out, but I think he'll still be confident of getting a win ahead of Norris too, which is the main thing. Norris third, I think he'll be disappointed, but he can still work from there. Russell fourth, probably the maximum he could do. Alonso in fifth, Stroll in sixth as well. Yeah, didn't see that from Aston Martin, a really strong performance from them. Similar for Bortoleto, his qualifying form recently has been hugely impressive. Verstappen in eighth will be really disappointing. He's got to be qualifying at least fifth there. He'll be wondering where the pace of that Red Bull's gone, and he's stuck there for another year now. Lawson and Hadjar ninth and 10th. I think that'll be relatively pleased with that, can work from there. Behrman, he always seems to be 11th at the moment, doesn't he? I think he'll be pleased with that too. And then you've got Hamilton in 12th. So frustrating, but I think it was just how close it was. He was only about 2 tenths off Leclerc, so it's probably not as big a disaster as it looks, but he'll be feeling that. And yeah, quite upset to see some of the things he said on the media pen too. Before Sainz in 13th, Williams just had a really disappointing pace of Albon all the way in last actually, so yeah, disappointing for them. Colapinto will be pleased to out-qualify Gasly, but the Alpine team, scant consolation for them with poor pace. Ocon as well will be disappointed, Hulkenberg as well, miles off his teammate, and Albon like I mentioned, and Antonelli and Tsunoda both really struggling. And cars that should be higher up, let's be fair. Guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share and subscribe. Follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily F1 news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.